Yo, it's your homeboy Kiiro in the building. Welcome to an open discussion, and in this video, I'm going to talk about Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. Now, this is a fight that happened, day before yesterday, uh, based on my time zone and shit. And I watched this fight live, and I regret watching it. Now, I haven't watched many Mayweather fights because, to be honest, I really don't care about his weight division that much. I'm more of a heavyweight person. All I've really seen prior to that fight was I saw when he sucker punched that dude, which I think was taken out of proportion. It wasn't that big of a deal. I mean, the dude did headbutt him, so even in the worst case scenario where he did intend on sucker punching him, it's just a one canceling out the other. Both players would have done the wrong thing. Uh, and you can't really just put all the blame on him. That's completely unfair. I think it's more of the case of people who are tired of seeing Floyd win, and they just want a reason to put the blame on him. The other fight I saw was him versus Maidana, I think was his name, some Argentine dude or whatever. But that was a really boring fight. I mean, actually, it wasn't too boring. I just expected Floyd to do a bit more, which he didn't really do. He just did his defensive thing, and that was the first time. Actually, that was the first Floyd match I watched because I watched the whole thing. Unimpressed with that fight. My dad was even eating cookies after the fight because Floyd, rarely hit him with anything serious, and that is the problem with Floyd Mayweather. He fights. I mean, does he even really fight? I wouldn't really say he fights. I'd just say he plays the sport, to win, which is totally fair. And I'm just trying to think of how I'm gonna structure this video and do things properly because this is a deeper topic than people may realize. But anyways, uh, I've seen, being the case that I've only seen one fight from Mayweather, which would be that fight. Um, I went into the Pacquiao fight hoping I would see something different, or at least hoping that Pacquiao would be a bit more aggressive. I mean, because you can't dodge forever, but that wasn't the case. Pacquiao gave Floyd a lot of respect. I didn't just go ham, uh, and that was his mistake. You're not gonna catch Floyd slipping if you try and just if you're trying to be patient. He's gonna have more patience than you because that's the way he plays. He plays defensively, so you're not gonna find any hiccups. I mean, even if you do, you're probably not gonna be fast enough. I mean, how much speed? I mean, you can land a quick punch, but most of the time, quick punches aren't as strong as the ones with all the power in them and all that kind of stuff. So to do a punch that has both speed and power and to catch him slipping, that's asking for too much. And Manny, he really should have done it. He really shouldn't have. Basically, what I'm saying is Manny gave Floyd too much respect because both players gave each other respect, but Manny should give Floyd too much respect in terms of, okay, if I go nuts, he can just catch me slipping and knock me out with one punch. Floyd isn't that kind of person. In fact, he rarely knocks people out, and because his whole game plan uh, is just to be on the defensive and land the hits, he has pretty much no intention of knocking you out. So even if the opportunity is there, he likely won't get it. He likely won't seize the opportunity, or yeah, I think that's pretty much the best way I can phrase it. He won't really make the most use of the opportunity, and he'll put it to waste. So he won't be optimal with that decision because all he is looking for slip ups, but just to land punches, not to really do any damage and knock you out or anything like that. Because it's easier to land two quick punches, which is extra hits for him, than to do one serious punch. That's really not his game plan. So I really blame Manny and his coach and his whole team uh, for the performance of the fight. Floyd did make the fight boring, but in fairness, this is what he's been doing for the last goddamn 40 matches. So people who've been watching Floyd since day one, they have no reason to complain. Or even if you've seen three fights, whatever. In my case, I've only seen one fight with Floyd, and I've seen a clip of him knocking someone out by so-called sucker punch. So I had I was optimistic with this fight, especially with a fight that's been 5 years in the making and all that kind of stuff. I was definitely expecting something else. Now I'm not saying I was expecting them to just. I wasn't expecting a Frankie versus Senior Pink thing. I wasn't expecting these two guys to just stand in front of each other and just throw punches until one of them passed out. That's not what I'm saying. But I expected Floyd to have an intent of knocking Pacquiao out, but that wasn't his game plan. His game plan was just to win, and he doesn't really care about entertaining or any of that kind of stuff, because he gets the money for his fight before he wins, and he's gonna get extra money for winning. So what happens during the match really doesn't concern him, especially with this being the second to the last match that he's ever gonna do, and he's gotten $100 million or some kind of crazy shit because of this fight alone. And this brings me to an interesting topic. But well, one more thing I'll talk about before I move into this really big topic is Pacquiao. Later on he started saying some shit about he had a shoulder injury and he brought it up and blah 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 blah. Excuses. Take it L and shut the fuck up. You lost to Floyd, and you disappointed a lot of us, because I was supporting Pacquiao, and it's not because I'm really crazy about Pacquiao or nothing like that. I just wanted to see Floyd lose, because Floyd has some of the worst fanboys in sports. They just say all sorts of bullshit. He's greater than Ali. He's the best boxer ever, and all sorts of bullshit. And I just think he's really overrated as a sportsman. Now, I'm not saying that he is bad. I'm not saying he can't box, or anything like that. That would be going too far. But he's most definitely overrated. He wouldn't last for example, in the octagon. I can't really say the same about other boxers. I mean, look at Kimbo Slice. He went from street boxing to doing decent, for someone with little or no background in MMA and UFC. Now, he hasn't really done much, but just he did something. I can't really say the same for Floyd, because he really hasn't shown that to me, that he's capable of surviving in the octagon. I mean, in the octagon, hugging and clenching isn't gonna save you. And you can't really run away forever. Someone's gonna take you down eventually. And once you're on the ground, all that, you can't do any shoulder rolls, any damn rolls, none of that shit. So yeah, he really hasn't proven to me that he's really a fighter. Is he a boxer? Yeah, he is a boxer. The same way a fencer is a fencer, but a fencer might not necessarily be capable of winning a sword fight, in real life. Although that's a bit. I mean, most likely they should win, at least if it's with the weapons they use and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, I'm getting a bit off topic, and I just wanted to say, Pacquiao, don't give any excuses. That's some bullshit. I mean, in fairness, I think because at the end of the day, I don't think it had anything to do with pain. I did see at one point in the fight, he had some kind of problem with his punch, but that was just once. I mean, consider this: the last few rounds went to Manny, so clearly he could have done a better job in some of the earlier rounds, with that in mind. So I just think he's just coming up with some excuse. The bottom line is he gave Floyd too much respect and he didn't go ham. Now, I'm not saying that him going ham would have sealed the deal and he would have won for sure, but it would have made the fight more entertaining, and he would have had, at least some chance of winning. No one in Floyd's weight division is going to beat him in the point war. That is not going to happen. Floyd is the best in the world, in my opinion, at getting them points. I don't think anyone's going to beat him. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But anyways, this moves on to another topic, which is money. Money. There is a really big reason why Floyd calls himself Floyd Money Mayweather, and it's more than just to be flashy. That's really all he cares about is the money. He doesn't care that much about putting up an entertaining fight. If he wins, he gets his checks. That's all he cares about, because he's pretty much an independent person. He used to be under some group, the same group that had Oscar De La Hoya, but he was in De La Hoya's shadow, and so he liberated himself. He got himself out of his contract and all that kind of shit, and then he started the Money Mayweather team by himself, and he changed his name from Pretty Boy Floyd to Money Mayweather. And when you start a business by yourself and all that kind of shit, that stuff is hard, and you start to really understand the importance of money. Money becomes really dear to you, at least until you hit the big bucks. But from Floyd, he's pretty much done the same thing since day one, and he just pretty much hasn't really had any reason to change his lifestyle or just the way his approach. Because I mean, why would he go for an approach that gets him less money? What I'm saying? He is richer than any other boxer that I know, and he's and yeah, all he really cares about is winning. Why change a winning formula? The wins are what gonna get you the checks. If you lose big time. You lose you're not gonna get the winning money. That's the first thing. You lose all the money you've been blowing because of your rich lifestyle, which Floyd has, and you're also going to lose a lot of money for people who bet on you, which would most likely include yourself. So there's a lot of money on the line, and I don't blame him too much, but at the same time, I don't think he should have the audacity to call himself the greatest boxer of all time when he really isn't putting up fights. He's not putting up a fight. He's winning matches, definitely. All he's really doing is exploiting the system, which is not a big deal to me because that's just a smart thing to do. But but you see, some people get boxing twisted. Boxing has always been about the knockouts. The reason why the whole points thing were introduced was because what do you call it? More often than not, well, I wouldn't say more often than not, but there's a very good portion of fights that go the full 12 rounds. And when that happens, it's unfair for a fighter who's been outperforming the other fighter to get a draw. And so they use the statistics because obviously if someone's been putting in work and the other boxer hasn't really been doing anything, he's just managed to survive for 12 rounds, that doesn't make the survivor the better boxer. So the better boxer will be the person who landed more punches, threw more punches, all that kind of stuff. And that's why the point system was put in place, because it is the most fair system, that can be thought of for pretty much any fighting sport. You can't really have free throws in boxing. I mean, are you gonna let someone take a free punch at you or something? That's some bullshit. You don't have penalties. You don't have like a golden goal, and the point system is just really solid. And back then they didn't really think anyone was gonna do, I guess, what's been happening today. And that's why Floyd has quite a lot of haters. I don't really hate Floyd at all. What I don't like are his fanboys, because his fanboys, they go way too far in my opinion. But in any case, I've kind of talked about everything I want to talk about. The fight was boring. Floyd is overrated, but he's definitely a good boxer. And he just fights for the money, and that is why he fights the way he fights. It's not necessarily that he's a coward, that some people might say. It's just that he cares more about the money than proving himself to other people. For him, his record is enough proof. And that's just for him. And he's the person you have to convince, not anyone else, if you want him to change. Furthermore, is the fact that he's been so successful. I think if he wasn't as successful as he was now, right? If he wasn't undefeated, then he would have, more reason to take the risk of actually putting up a fight. But the fact is, he has been undefeated. He is pretty much on a record. It does seem like he's gonna break a new record. By the end of this year, he's gonna go 50-0, and he really just has no reason whatsoever to throw that record away just because of one fight. Makes no sense. So that's pretty much Floyd Mayweather, as well as the whole Pacquiao thing. Pacquiao, a disappointment, and I blame Pacquiao's team and his coaching, because he listens to his coach. That's pretty much. I don't really think it was a case of just him ignoring his coach or any of that kind of bullshit. I just think he got bad advice from his team, and he had a bad game plan against someone like Mayweather. And Mayweather's play style, it wasn't compatible, and they paid the price for it. And obviously they also made a lot of us viewers very unhappy, because that's a really boring fight. And yeah, that's pretty much it. A really long video. I apologize for the length, but I had quite a lot of stuff to talk about. And I might have missed one or two things that I wanted to talk about, or I might not have gone as deep as I want to, but this is a long video. I think I've said enough. So I'll wrap things up here. Thank you for chilling all the way to the end. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, thank you guys for watching.